My name is Michel'le Testimonial. Before I started the culinary program in Second Harvest, I was currently living in my first apartment. That apartment I got into with my income tax. I ended up moving out of my grandmother's house because it was going through foreclosure. I didn't have a job. I didn't know my next steps. I guess my pastor saw something in me. He reached out at that time when I didn't know what I was going to do next, and he said he told me about the program, and if I was to get into it, that he would pay my bills. I was in a dark place. You know, I had 3 kids under the age of 5, not knowing where my food was going to come from next, not knowing, my next meal. I didn't know anything, so I really was clueless. I had Chef Santiago and Chef Jill, and at that time, they were kind of, on me, kind of strict, but, being in the culinary industry, you're going to have to learn discipline and learn how to be on time and learn how to be accountable for the things that you do. You're going to have to learn how to have everything in place. And for me, knife skills was definitely one of the top things that was my interest, other than just cooking. Being intricate and being organized was also something that I had to learn in the kitchen. So learning how to use different equipment, steam tables, learning how to saute and bake and just put different flavor combinations together was definitely big for me. And Chef Jill, I don't know if you're still making those cookies, but I need some at the freezer because I noticed we keep them in. So for me growing up, I lost my parents at a young age, so I was raised by my grandmother. And with being raised by my grandmother, I got spoiled a lot. There are a lot of things I didn't have to do. There are a lot of things that I didn't know how to do. So coming to Second Harvest Food Bank, you have a Dahlia that takes that one-on-one time and life skills. I learned so much budgeting, to just staying organized and staying on top of things, because for me, I didn't know how to be organized. I didn't know anything about that because I was spoiled. I didn't have to worry about that. But as an adult, there are things that you have to learn along the way that others may not teach you. So for me, life skills was not more important than culinary, but it was definitely a big step, and it taught me not only how to just keep everything together, it just taught me how to grow up a little bit and how to be responsible for my own actions and for myself. I ended up finding a job before I graduated, and when I did that definitely gave me the confidence in order to move forward and just to believe in myself a little more. For me, I am a single mom. I ended up getting a job, and I worked 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Yes, I learned a lot of things from them, but for me it was definitely a struggle. I still didn't have a car at that moment. So trying to find money to get to work, get from work, find a babysitter, also find somebody to pick my baby up, and more than 3 babies, pick those up and bring them back to me. So that job for me, I think I stayed there about 3 months, but before I left there, I ended up finding a new job. It was a seafood place. They had a market, and they also had somewhere where we cooked. I definitely loved it, but for me, I really wanted a place where I could find balance in my life and also not just work all the time with my kids being at school during the week. I wanted to be off during the weekend. Okay, so after I left the seafood place, I ended up being at Charles Schwab. They have a kitchen and we feed employees. I ended up being a deli attendant there. And with having small children, they get sick. I had 3 under the age of 5. So I had a lot of issues with that, and I ended up losing my job. So I called a Dahlia, and I was freaking out because I think I had already put the deposit down on where I was supposed to live, and I didn't have a job. So I called a Dahlia, and she ended up telling me about a kitchen manager position at a preschool. I'm thinking, yeah, I definitely don't have any experience. I'm not gonna call this lady about anything. So I ended up not calling her, and lo and behold, Dahlia, the manager called me, and I ended up going in for an interview, and I got hired on the spot. So I've currently been here for 5 years. I've learned so much, and I think when you have somebody that's willing to push you, you're able to learn from yourself that you're stronger than what you think you are. You're more capable than you may think you are, and there's things that, it may be scary, but you're gonna have to push yourself in order to know what your capabilities are. So for me, it was a growing place that a Dahlia definitely pushed me in. And when you have that support, it's you against the world, really. If I was to have any advice for the class of 2021, it is just to keep pushing. You see, We've gone through the pandemic and you've made it. What really can't you beat? What I would say is to definitely plan what you want. Make sure that you learn from your mistakes. Just don't make mistakes just because. Make sure you learn from them and figure out what it is. Okay, I don't like this, but this is something that I like. To know what direction you want to go in. I had 3 or 4 jobs before I got to where I am today, but those jobs have definitely shaped me and made me who I am today. So I appreciate every downfall and every high five. Either way, you know, learn something from what you go through. Every negative isn't really a negative. Sometimes God allows those things in order to teach us what we need or what we're missing. I just want to say congratulations. You guys have made it, graduated. Now you're on to bigger and better things. I wish you the best of luck, and I just ask that God bless you and have fun and enjoy.